Good morning and welcome to our continuing coverage here on Times Now. Battle lines are drawn both in Tamil Nadu and in Bengal. Tamil Nadu, all 234 constituencies are voting right now. In Bengal, 152 out of 294. Welcome to our morning coverage. I'm Zaka Jacob.
And I'm Swati Joshi. Let's directly look at the visuals. Vijay and MK Stalin on your screens. Vijay says it's a fight between TVK and DMK. But for MK Stalin, it's a battle between Tamil Nadu and Delhi. Both of them there exercising their right to vote. Remember, Vijay is contesting from two constituencies. I believe we have my colleagues Pratibha and Dharni on the broadcast. Dharni, is Vijay going to be a big factor? That's the question. Everybody's eyes on Vijay.
Well, definitely Vijay will be the X factor as far as this assembly election is concerned, because for almost 6 decades now the contest in Tamil Nadu has always between the DMK and the ADMK. Many actors like Kamal Hassan and Bhagiraj, etc., they've tried to enter politics. In fact, Rajinikanth also had a plan to launch a political party, but unfortunately that plan did not come into fruition. He ultimately said he doesn't want to enter politics and he doesn't want to launch a political party. So so many actors, they've tried their luck in politics. Some have succeeded and some have failed. But as far as Vijay is concerned, he is right now considered to be the superstar of Tamil cinema. He is considered to be the most sought after actor in the Tamil film industry at the moment. He earns around rupees 200 crores for every film he acts in. But he is leaving all that to be in politics to serve the people is what he says. So time and again, Vijay has made it a point that he is quitting cinema at the peak of his career to enter politics to serve the people who have been giving everything to him for the past 30 years. And as far as his political experience in the last couple of years is concerned, it's mixed with controversies and good moments.
So let me also bring Pratibha in on this conversation. Pratibha, there have been many actors turned politicians. Many of them have not found great success, whether it's Kamal Hassan, Vijay Kant, etc. What makes Vijay stand out? He has been saying again and again through this campaign, including in his last speech a couple of days ago, give me a chance. And that seems to be having a resonance, particularly amongst youngsters. First-time voters, 1.1 crore, almost 20% of the electorate. And that, I think, is a huge factor that's working in his favor.
Absolutely. And in Tamil Nadu, we've seen cinema and politics be intertwined, and it has been the case for decades together. Is Vijay going to be different this time around? From 2016, there is a void of personality politics in Tamil Nadu, and this election really is not just about the two-front Dravidian fight, but it is very clear that it is also about a new political phase altogether within Tamil Nadu. That's what we are looking at. From the alliance-based Dravidian parties fighting it out, this time we have a third entrant, Vijay, which is turning out to be one of the biggest factors that could actually decide the election. That's the biggest question on whether he can actually convert his popularity into votes. Now, where does Vijay's fan club really come in? If you look at the crowds that have gathered to come and have a glimpse of him, are they actually going to stand in the queues, ensure that they cast their vote? That is where cadre-based parties can have an edge. Many have pointed out that cinema and politics has been a part of Tamil Nadu for a long time, yes, but both MGR as well as Jayalalitha were actors, yes, but they had a certain political initiation before they took the electoral plunge. That's different with Vijay. He has no electoral experience whatsoever, but he's taking a very brave plunge into politics. Absolutely. Two constituencies that he's contesting from.
Pratibha, as we speak, there are very interesting visuals on the screen. Vijay, Mr. MK Stalin and Edappadi Palanisamy, all of them, of course, contesting for the top post. Will Vijay upset the arithmetic of DMK and AIDMK? That's the big question. And will he end the duopoly, isn't it?
So if we can look at the X factors that are working in Vijay's favor, obviously youth vote, like I mentioned, it's a big factor. You can walk us through some of these factors that are working in his favor. Whether or not it converts to seats, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly he's made a huge impact already on this election.
Absolutely. He has a huge fandom. Whether that will translate into votes remains to be seen. He's contesting from Trichy East and Perambur. Now, let's take a look at his Youth Connect. First-time candidates double up to avoid loss. So that's the insurance play. As far as the urban advantage is concerned, it avoids complex rural caste machinery. And he's, of course, eyeing the youth voters. He has some sort of a chemistry with them. The urban voters lean towards change. That is the buzzword as far as Tamil Nadu politics is concerned at the moment. And, of course, he's also eyeing the minority vote bank to consolidate 30% Christian and Muslim votes. As far as the gender variable factor is concerned, both have over 1.1 lakh women voters. We've seen how they've gathered in huge numbers in Vijay's rallies. The poll promise, of course, another guarantee coming in from him to woo the women voters, which is 2,500 rupees monthly if he gets a chance. As far as the Perambur constituency is concerned, the cinema fan base there is really strong for Vijay. Will that translate into votes or not remains to be seen. And then there's resonance in the working class as well.
All right. I believe M.K. Stalin, the Chief Minister, is speaking. Let's cut straight to what he's saying. To cast their vote, it's a democratic right. Come in large numbers and cast your vote. He says his feedback is good, whatever he's receiving from his DMK party functionaries. Tamil Nadu will win. That has been his campaign theme, that he is fighting this election on basis of the Tamil identity. He's framed it, at least the DMK's narrative is that this is a fight between Tamil Nadu and Delhi, and it got exemplified just in the last few days, in the last week, in the fight over the women's reservation bill. Whether or not that narrative is having resonance on the ground. Tamil Nadu versus Delhi. Pratibha, you've been there over a month now as we see the pictures of Stalin and his entire family, his son Udhayanidhi Stalin, the Deputy Chief Minister, their respective wives, and even the grandson, Nidhi, was also there. I think it's the first time he's casting his vote. This is about not just a Tamil identity election, of course, that suits the DMK's narrative, but this is also about protecting the fort, protecting the DMK dynastic politics. All right, let's listen in to Udhayanidhi Stalin.
Please wait till 4th. Please wait till 4th.
Okay. That is the conversation that we're having with Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin, sir. Why do you call this a battle between Tamil Nadu and Delhi, sir?
I've already spoken enough for the last 25 days. I don't want to talk politics now, but people of Tamil Nadu, they are very smart politically. They will take a very good decision. Thank you.
BJP will not enter Tamil Nadu. There is no chance.
Tamil Nadu people will never allow that.
BJP will not enter.
Tamil Nadu people will never allow that.
Always out of control. Always out of control, as you say.
You can't try to take us under control.
Okay. That is the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Udhayanidhi Stalin, speaking exclusively to Times Now and telling that the BJP can never take control of Tamil Nadu. The BJP can never bring Tamil Nadu under its control, and he is also expressing confidence that this time the DMK will, come back to power. The DMK will have a consecutive term, is what Deputy Chief Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin has to say. This is something that he's spoken exclusively to Times Now.
That was great to get him first. I think he's spoken, and at length he's spoken, saying that this is about Delhi versus Tamil Nadu. He says wait till the 4th. He says BJP will never enter Tamil Nadu. BJP, of course, is playing second fiddle this time in the NDA. It's the AIADMK, which is the larger partner in that alliance. So it's a three-way fight between the DMK alliance, DMK Congress. There are problems there as well. Let's see if she can get M.K. Stalin to speak to us on our cameras as Dharani is trying to speak to the Chief Minister. He's just cast his vote along with his entire family, walking back now towards his car. Whether or not he will speak to our cameras, we'll wait and see. But the framing of this narrative has been Delhi versus Tamil Nadu. It's convenient. It's a politically convenient sort of framing of the narrative as far as the DMK is concerned. What's at stake, Pratibha, for the DMK? Tamil Nadu very rarely votes back incumbents. One of the few times it's done so was in 2016 when Jayalalitha was in power. But otherwise, if you look at the history of Tamil Nadu for the last, since MGR's death, it has always been a revolving door politics.
Absolutely, and we've also seen a lot of political uncertainty. So over the last 5 years, we've seen some sort of stability in Tamil Nadu after a long gap. So is that what people want? That will be one question, whether they're looking for stability or whether Tamil Nadu is going to go back to voting out the incumbent. And if they decide to do so, if there is anti-incumbency, who will they see as an option? Is it going to be the AIADMK alliance, or is it going to be the TVK? Because the TVK has presented itself as an actual force. They didn't ally ally with anybody, because of which there is a possibility that they can dent the votes of both the DMK as well as the AIADMK. Which way it will go, that will be the biggest question. You have in other smaller areas as well, apart from urban areas where TVK could be the deciding factor. In many of the rural areas where the AIADMK alliance is strong, there could be a dent because of the alliances playing out as well. If you look at the northern belt, the PMK has a very strong presence there, while Anubhav Ramadas is with the NDA alliance. Dr. S. Ramadas is not. So how is that going to split the vote? Because otherwise it is a region that would be easy to predict, but this time around the equations are completely different. The PMK split is also going to be completely untested. How is that going to play out on the ground? That is one question. Again, the Congo belt that we have been speaking of as well, a very big influence area for the AIADMK with Sendil Balaji coming in. How is the equation going to change completely? Can the AIADMK actually hold on to this stronghold or not? That will be the biggest question. The Prime Minister had also campaigned there recently. He also spoke about the BJP's vision, the NDA's vision in Tamil Nadu. With the attacks that have come in from the DMK, it's very clear they frame it as a Tamil Nadu versus Delhi battle. And they have said time and again that the BJP will not have any acceptance. While speaking about AIADMK as well, in fact, interestingly, the DMK has said that they are with the BJP. So they have framed it as BJP taking control. They've said that BJP will never find resonance in Tamil Nadu and they are in alliance with the AIADMK only because they want the control to go to Delhi completely. This is an issue that has resonated previously with the people. Whether it happens this time around or not is the question, and whether TVK is actually seen as an alternative in some of these smaller areas as well. The NTK factor, the PMK factor, that's also going to play out. And from every constituency, every battle is going to be very crucial, especially considering even the 2 to 8% vote share that could come in from the alliances could really change the game completely.
Okay, Vijay does not have any alliance partners. Would that make the critical difference? What's at stake in this election, Swati?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some data here on the big screen. As far as the DMK is concerned, it's eyeing a second consecutive term. If that happens, it will be unprecedented, because for 37 years in Tamil Nadu, these two parties, the DMK and IDMK, have been alternating in power. As far as the AIDMK-led NDA is concerned, of course, if they do not make a comeback, according to many, that would lead to an internal leadership credibility and crisis. For Vijay, it's a make or break debut. And, you know, even if the gains are very small, it will be historic since it's his debut.
If he polls more than 15 or 20% vote share, it'll be historic, because no new player in the last 30, 40 years in Tamil Nadu has broken in with a double-digit vote share. Vijay Kant ended with 8%, Kamal Hassan with 2 or 3%. So in the last 30, 40 years, no one has entered with a double-digit vote share. The critical factor is, what is the upper ceiling for Vijay? Can he get upwards of 20%? Can he get upwards of 25%? Because if you have to convert vote share into seats, the only way you can do that is if you breach that 30% mark, particularly when it's a triangular fight. It's definitely three-way contest in Tamil Nadu between the DMK alliance, the BJP alliance, and of course Vijay. We have guests who are joining us. We have Tushar Gupta, political analyst, Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, Sanjay Jha, author, and advocate Niladri Bhattacharya is also joining us. Shekhar, you know, this is an unusual election. I've been looking at elections in Tamil Nadu for the last 30 years. I've not seen a third player who is making as much of an impact as Vijay is currently doing. Whether or not, like I said, it results in conversion to seats, that's a different argument altogether. That's a different story altogether. But he will definitely hurt, and he will definitely hurt both the parties. This thing that he will split the anti-incumbency vote, I think, is a very convenient explanation. He will hurt the DMK in urban constituencies. He will take away a lot of the youth vote. He will take away a lot of the women vote who have been traditional AIADMK backers. Why is this election so different and so unpredictable? Shekhar.
Indeed, Zaka, in addition to the votes that would be lost for the true Dravidian parties, equally important is the Vijay's impact on the minority votes, which is what has worried the DMK particularly, because DMK has always considered the minority vote, particularly the Christian vote in southern districts and Muslim votes elsewhere, as its solid base. But this is the first time with the Vijay entering the arena and contesting from two constituencies, which have a sizable minority votes. This is what got the DMK leadership worried. And this is also an election where you will find the Vijay, the new X-factor in Tamil Nadu elections, has addressed only 14 rallies or 14 public meetings, compared to, say, Stalin doing 80 meetings and EPS doing 123 meetings, And of course, Seaman, the fourth factor which nobody talks about, at least ignored by the mainstream media with his Nabat Tamil Kurchi, he has done about 178 meetings. So Vijay has relied entirely on the social media, entirely on his cinematic pull, and entirely on the frenzy that he has seen wherever he has made brief appearances. And even today we saw the kind of chaos outside the polling booth where he went to cast votes. So this kind of factor Tamil Nadu election has never seen before, where you do not know what exactly will be the impact and whose votes is he going to steal.
Okay. Let me also bring Swati back into the conversation. You know, one of the factors that Shekhar mentioned was about how Vijay is eating into both DMK votes, whether it's urban, young, minority, and also into ADMK votes, because he's splitting anti-incumbency votes which would have gone to ADMK alliance were just a two-way race. Were this just a two-horse contest? He's splitting the anti-incumbency vote, and my word, he's splitting the women's vote, which has been a sort of a bulwark as far as the ADMK is concerned. What are the factors, particularly when it comes to the minority vote, Swati, that's working for Vijay? We saw him go to a church, a mosque, and a temple recently when he was in Trichy a few days ago. Take us through that.
Absolutely. All of that, in fact, he covered in just one day. So there's been massive outreach as far as the minority vote bank also is concerned. Let's take a look at a SWOT analysis, specifically only for the TBK. As far as strength is concerned, the ability to convert celebrity appeal into political mobilization, a lot depends on that. He really enjoys a ready-made grassroots network in urban and semi-urban network. That's where perhaps his voters are. Struck a chord with the youth. He has some sort of a chemistry with them, as well as the first-time voters. Remember, he's been saying children need to pester their parents to vote for the TVK. So there's a high-energy campaign also contributing to this factor. Let's also talk about the weakness. Vote fragmentation, lacks tested organizational structure. One of the factors that could hurt them. Then there's the issue of identity, dependence on Vijay's personal charisma only. Will that popularity translate into votes remains to be seen. As far as opportunities are concerned, the big opportunity that Vijay has to make space for his party is the anti-incumbency factor. And then he can attract disillusioned voters. Maybe he can get those DMK, IDMK voters in his faction. He can establish itself a long-term political force. So these are the opportunities that he can tap into. As far as threats are concerned, he is perceived as a vote cutter. Will his role be limited to just that? That remains to be seen. Gap between crowd mobilization, actual vote conversion. That is the talking point every time a celebrity enters the fray, isn't it? So that's a SWOT analysis as far as the TVK is concerned.
So that last point about the conversion or the mobilization of voters or crowds into votes, that is going to be a critical factor for Vijay. Sanjay Jha is also joining us. You know, it's an interesting election. The DMK and Congress are supposed to be in alliance, and yet Rahul Gandhi and Stalin have not campaigned even once in the last month. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, I think, was there just for a couple of days, and he had individual campaigns. On the other side, you have the NDA alliance where, you know, they're throwing their weight behind Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy. There was sort of some rifts within the Tamil Nadu BJP. Mr. Annamalai's supporters feel that he was being sidelined, etc. So you have that on the second side. And on the third side, Sanjay, you have this completely unknown X factor who seems to be certainly appealing to a large cross-section of young voters, urban voters, and women voters. Do you see this as the start of shifting alliances, perhaps, you know, a longer-term change in the politics of Tamil Nadu, which for the last 50 years, frankly, has been oscillating between these two Dravidian parties?
Zaka, good morning to you, and good to see you on Times Now. Congratulations, and hope you have a fantastic career here on the TV channel. Let me just come to the point right away. I believe, you know, having seen Tamil Nadu over the last couple of years, especially post the Lok Sabha, which I followed very closely, that this is indeed a unique election that cannot be denied. There are a couple of interesting trends, though. I've been hearing both you and Swati very closely. There is bound to be some degree of anti-incumbency, but it is not significant. That's point number one. Point number two, there is a new player, but then remember, it's not like he is very popular and there is a magnetic appeal, etc., etc. I think his political platform seems to be very interesting as well, but it's 2 years old, and end of day, as you rightly mentioned, a new player, a disruptor, damages all existing formations. The question is, to what magnitude does he disturb the others, and where? Also, the fundamental question is, where do you disturb them? If you look at the real issue, and I believe that's the elephant in the room, is the attempt of the Bharatiya Janata Party using its traditional model of piggyback riding on a formidable regional player and then making a local entry. But in Tamil Nadu, that is not going to be like, Bihar or Maharashtra or even Punjab for that matter. In Tamil Nadu, we know the sensitivities have been very high. The BJP has been belligerent. I go back to the BJP all the time because in this election, I think the BJP is throwing its entire weight and hoping to somewhere down the line crack that cleavage that it has not been able to. And I feel that the BJP's association with the NRDMK opens up an opportunity for Vijay to actually play a more significant role, not in this election maybe, but in the future elections. The damage, I think, is really going to be for the NRDMK with the young voters. That's going to be significant, even the women. The DMK Congress, I think their pre-election optics were not the best. I'm going to concede that point. I think the Congress unnecessarily appeared to be needling the DMK. You've got to realize who's the linchpin of the alliance and go with the linchpin. You'll have to make your compromises.
So it's not just before the election, even during the election. Like I said, Rahul Gandhi and MK Stalin did not share a stage at all. I mean, I don't know what signaling that sends, but I believe we can go back to Udhayanidhi Stalin. He's given an exclusive tic-tac to our colleague Dharani there, and this is how he's framing this electoral contest.
Uday sir, what is your message to the people?
Please go and vote.
How confident are you about a DMK victory?
Very, very confident.
More than 200 seats, sir?
Yeah, hopefully more than
So Chennai is considered a DMK fortress. Will it remain a DMK fortress, sir? Chennai is considered a DMK fortress.
Please wait till 4th.
Sir?
Please wait till 4th.
Okay. That is the conversation that we're having with Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin, sir. Why do you call this a battle between Tamil Nadu and Delhi, sir?
I've already spoken enough for the last 25 days. I don't want to talk politics now, but people of Tamil Nadu, they are very smart politically. They will take a very good decision. Thank you.
And BJP will not enter Tamil Nadu. There is no chance.
Tamil Nadu people will never allow that.
BJP will not enter.
Tamil Nadu people will never allow that.
Always out of control. Always out of control, as you say.
You can't try to take us under control.
Okay. That is the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Udhayanidhi Stalin, speaking exclusively to Times Now and telling that the BJP can never take control of Tamil Nadu. The BJP can never bring Tamil Nadu under its control, and he is also expressing confidence that this time the DMK will, come back to power. The DMK will have a consecutive term, is what Deputy Chief Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin has to say. This is something that he has spoken exclusively to Times Now here.
All right, Udhayanidhi Stalin there framing this as a Delhi versus Tamil Nadu battle. Of course, that's a convenient political framing. But let's look at the DMK alliance. They are the alliance in power, although it's just the DMK party alone that has the shares or the spoils of office. What are the strengths, the opportunities, the threats, Swati, of this DMK alliance? Because they have to defend their fort.
Absolutely. So just like the TVK, let's do a quick check as far as the SWOT analysis is concerned of the DMK Congress alliance. These are their strengths, that it has an expanded alliance, the DMK Congress and the other small players part of this alliance. It's a strong organization, obviously, that goes in their favor. The welfare goodwill, the welfare schemes of this particular government. Let's focus on the weakness as well a little bit. Corruption charges against ex-cabinet ministers, something that the BJP has been raking continuously. And then, of course, the anti-incumbency factor is there, given how Tamil Nadu votes two parties, AIDMK, DMK, have been alternating in part. As far as opportunities are concerned, DMK certainly wants this to happen. The split in the opposition, they are hoping that this will help them. And then the issue of Tamil identity as well, which has been their focal point as far as their campaigning is concerned. So these are the opportunities. Let's also talk about the threats. Youth disconnect and ED scrutiny. The investigations as far as youth disconnect is concerned, that's where Vijay comes into picture. According to experts, the chemistry between him and the youth may work for him. It may work in his favor. So that's about the DMK Congress alliance. Back to you.
So one thing that Vijay has been stressing on is about corruption. Of course, in Tamil Nadu, Shekhar knows this, all parties have this sort of cloud of corruption, whether ADMK is in power or DMK is in power. He is a new entrant, so therefore he doesn't have the baggage of corruption. So he's been hammering on that point. It's called Udal in Tamil, which means corruption. And he's been banging on about that point, about how both parties are corrupt. They pay money to voters on the eve of elections, allegedly, and therefore he wants a break. He's been appealing to the people to get a break, a clean break, and give him a chance. But let me also get Tushar Gupta as well as Niladri Bhattacharya into this. Tushar, new entrants always have a mountain to climb. There is a minimum threshold you have to cross if you have to make an impact in terms of number of seats. There are very few examples in recent Indian politics that have happened. Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi in 2013 and in 15. The BJP's growth in Bengal, for example, over the last 3 election cycles from 2011 to 2016 and then in 2021 when they really took off. And what that teaches us is for a new entrant, you have to break that threshold of 15 or 20%. Once you cross that threshold, then you never really know, depending on how much anti-incumbency there is against the incumbent, like there was against Sheila Dikshit in Delhi more than 10 years ago, then the floodgates really open. Then the conversion really starts happening. But the biggest battle for any new entrant is that first 15 to 20%. You think Vijay will be able to breach that?
Good morning, Zaka. I don't think he'll be able to breach that, honestly. Even if we look at all the new entrants recently, you look at the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. Delhi was a far more concentrated region, 70 seats, an easier geography to cover, easier caste dynamics to encompass. But Tamil Nadu is a far bigger state. Even for the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, before they swept the state in 2022, they became the principal opposition party in 2017. Kamal Hassan, for all the chatter around him in 2021, couldn't even garner 5% of the vote share. So Vijay, for all his stardom, all his persona, all his popularity, that will get him the eyeballs, that will get him the chatter. But can it really convert into votes? I really don't understand, because he's also up against an anti-incumbent, but also against a very strong election machinery. Who are going to be those people who will drive the voter to the voting booth, ensure that they come out and vote? And people say a lot of young voters are gravitating towards Vijay. How much percent of it? Because even if you look at the under 40 population in Tamil Nadu are going out to vote, it's not like an election changing strategy. It's a 3-way contest. Also, if people have made up their mind to vote out the DMK and vote for a change, their focus would very be clear. They want to vote for a hung mandate of sorts. So I don't see Vijay really breaching the 10% mark, but that's my personal opinion. Come 4th of May, we'll know if I'm wrong, if Vijay is right. That's a different question altogether. But I don't see him breaching the 10% mark, honestly, for one simple reason. Popularity and stardom and getting the votes are two very different things.
One interesting thing that's been happening over the last couple of days, remember, the voting in Tamil Nadu is happening on a Thursday. So tomorrow is Friday. If you take that day off, it's a long weekend. And we've seen hundreds of thousands of people at airports, at bus stations, at various, transit points through the state going back to their hometowns to cast their vote. And now Vijay, I believe, has written to the Election Commission saying not enough arrangements have been made for these people. Many of them, more than 90% of them, happen to be young people who are working in Chennai or working in Coimbatore, some of the urban centers, going back to their hometowns to cast their vote. And there's been a lot of scenes of crowds and crowds of people not getting transport, not getting buses, not getting trains. But I also want to bring in Mr. Bhattacharya into this very quickly about how, the BJP rose in Bengal. If you look at that pattern over the last 3 elections, the BJP rode and ate into the vote share of the principal opposition players. The BJP did not grow at the expense of the TMC. The BJP in the last election basically exploded from 3 seats to 77 because the vote of the Communist parties collapsed, the vote of the Congress collapsed. If you look at the 2016 election, between those two parties, they had almost 30% vote share. It's that 30% that en masse gravitated to the BJP. If you were to use that same example in Tamil Nadu, it's the non-incumbents who have to worry. It's the ADMK, it's the smaller parties, the NTK, the Congress, even the BJP to some extent, some would argue. Not so much the DMK, because that's the incumbent party. History has shown that when a new player enters, he or she rides on the number 2, number 3, number 4 parties, and then the anti-incumbent vote coalesces around this new player if he or she is able to make such a big impact.
I agree completely with Zaka, because the BJP, if you see historically, earlier they had only 2 MPs in the parliament at the time of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Krishnanagar North and Damdam South. Now, after that, in 2011, they had no one. But after the coming of Mamata Banerjee in the 2016 election, they just eroded into, ate into the vote banks of the Communists and the left and the Congress. Now, if we put that analogy to Tamil Nadu, it's a new player. Vijay is a very new player in the market. But Vijay will definitely eat into the votes of the 2nd, 3rd, or the 4th person, but not of the ruling party. Because we have seen in Bihar also, you see how Prashant Kishore has done it. He just ate into the vote banks of the other people. So this is where Vijay will make a very, I feel it'll be a contest. He'll make the contest wide open. Earlier, which was a bipolar fight, will now become a tripartite fight. But he will definitely not going to make the dent to the vote banks of the majority party.
Okay, just to add to that, and we can maybe move to the Bengal segment after this, Swati. You know, if you look at the 2021 election, the DMK alliance polled 47% vote share. Nearly half of the vote share went to the DMK alliance. The DMK alone accounted for 37 out of that 47%. So which means only 10% was contributed by the Congress and VCK and other left parties and so on. Similarly, in the AIADMK alliance, the entire AIADMK alliance put together, the entire alliance, made about 37% vote share, of which 33 to 34 was just the AIADMK alone. So both of these formations are dependent on their principal players, the DMK in the DMK alliance and the ADMK in the NDA alliance. So will Vijay be able to get the other smaller players and their votes, or will he actually breach into both the principal protagonists, the DMK and the ADMK? That, I think, is going to be a big question mark before Vijay. But Swati, just take it forward in terms of, you know, why this election and the variables in this election in terms of youth vote, in terms of women's vote, and why for the first time in maybe 50 years there's a genuine third alternative in this election in Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. So Vijay is the wild card as far as the Tamil Nadu elections are concerned. We just took you through the SWOT analysis as far as Vijay's party is concerned. Let's once again take a look at what's at stake here for the big parties for Vijay as well. Let's first talk specifically about TVK. His ability to convert celebrity appeal into political mobilization is his strength, but will that work remains to be seen. Enjoys a ready-made grassroots network in urban and semi-urban area constituencies. Struck a chord with the youth and first-time voters. High energy campaign was seen on ground, and there was a massive gathering of the youth and the women. Will that translate into votes? That remains to be seen. As far as weakness is concerned, vote fragmentation, lacks tested organizational structure on ground, which is extremely important for any political party to do well. Identity concerns and dependence, of course, heavily dependent on Vijay's personal charisma. He's the only X factor as far as his party is concerned. Of course, it's also his debut. Opportunities, anti-incumbency, the biggest factor that he's looking to tap into. That gives him a lot of space to make a mark of his own. And he can attract the disillusioned voters, like you were saying. Perhaps he can eat into the vote bank of the smaller parties. He can also establish TVK and himself as a long-term political force to reckon with. As far as threat is concerned, at the moment at least, he's being perceived only as a vote cutter. But like you said, will that, in terms of gains, be in a double digit? If that happens, will be historic for anyone who's debuting. The gap between crowd mobilization and actual vote conversion is something that remains a concern. Will that translate into votes and perhaps help him make a mark in his debut? That remains to be seen. So popularity, of course, but will that turn into votes remains to be seen.
So Shekhar, just again coming back to, you know, what he needs to do to make a big splash, a big impact in this election. There are 5.6 crore voters, and, you know, while all the SIR talk has been around Bengal, because Mamata Banerjee has made that the biggest issue in this election, in Tamil Nadu too, almost 1 crore voters got removed from the electoral rolls, whether they were dead voters, voters who've moved out of the state permanently, so on and so forth. So you have 5.6 crore voters, and I believe this time the voter turnout will be substantially higher, maybe even above 80%, which means 4 out of 5 voters have turned up at the polling booth. What Vijay needs to do is to get that 1.1 crore youth voters, and if you add voters under 40, that number goes up to 2.6 crores. So he has a big catchment area. For the first time, Shekhar, and walk us through this, we're also seeing an intergenerational divide, not just in the politics, not just in the main protagonists. Mr. Stalin is, you know, touching 70, Mr. Edapadi is in his mid-60s, Vijay is 51. It's not just in the principal political players, but even within families, youngsters are wanting to vote for Vijay, and the older generation is wanting to vote for the Dravidian parties, DMK or ADMK.
Absolutely, Zaka. You know, in terms of, you know, Vijay's appeal, is the fact that though he's a superstar, the conditions surrounding his campaign and the hurdles put in his bid to even hold public appearances has made him some kind of an underdog. A superstar who is an underdog in this election because He had difficulty in getting police permission. He had difficulty in even getting basic security kind of stuff and arrangements. Following the Karur episode, that is last September when more than 40 people died in the stampede. In Karur happens to be DMK strongman Senthil Balaji's home constituency. That episode even caused Senthil Balaji to shift to Coimbatore for his own election. So, and the other factor, I think, why is Vijay being seen as an important factor in this election is, if you look at the victory margin in 2021 elections, there are a lot of seats which were won by a difference of, less than 2%, and there are equally good number of seats that were won with the victory margin difference between 5 to 10%. Now, if you see less than 2%, DMK won 17 such seats compared to ADMK's 15. Similarly, 2% to 5% difference, DMK won 25 such seats. So you can see whether those seats which were won by very narrow margin has a DMK improved its popularity in terms of delivery. And also, Zaka, one more thing. Last 2 days has seen people coming out on streets demanding money, saying that this area has been covered, that area has been covered, they have been left out. There is an open, a public claim seeking, why are we left out? This is a very unusual scene. I don't think that has been visually captured enough. But throughout Tamil Nadu, particularly in Coimbatore belt, in other areas, these allegations of money has come, particularly in Coimbatore South. The ADMK ADMK candidate sat on a protest saying that there is so much of money power that the election should be countermanded. This is another factor where the ruling alliance is far ahead in terms of arrangement and in dispersal.
So it's called the M factor or vitamin M in Tamil Nadu because both parties have been accused in the past of bribing voters on the eve of elections. What is the Election Commission doing? That's a question that definitely should be asked. But Swati, I think we can go now to the other big state, Bengal.